one of the most legendary steel guitar players, I guess, in the history of country music. And he's got the guitar that he's had ever since 1949.
Wow.
This guitar that he played, he told me a while ago that Hank Williams in his lifetime had 11 number one records. That steel guitar was on 10 of the 11 number one records that Hank Williams had. It's also the steel that played the intro on Patsy Cline's Walking After Midnight. What a legendary intro that was. And he's agreed to pick a couple of songs for us. And Charley Pride's gonna join him because Charlie did a tribute album to Hank Williams one time. And I don't think it could get a whole lot better than Don Helms on the steel guitar and Charley Pride on the vocals and a great Hank Williams song. Take it, Don.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears come down like falling rain. You'll toss around and call my name. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. Your cheating heart will pine someday and crave the love you threw away. The time will come when you'll be blue. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears come down like falling rain. You'll toss around, you'll call my name. You'll walk the floor oh, the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
Great job, Charlie. Don, you were telling me over there a while ago that you have played with how many members of the Country Music Hall of Fame?
53,
Wow.
either on the opera or on records or on the stage, with 53 who are Hall of Famers.
But didn't this just make 54?
54. Thank you, Charlie.
Wow, and you played this very instrument with all of them?
Yeah.
Roy Clark said that he was there the day that you traded for this guitar. Tell me that story.
A guy came, I had recorded with Hank, and he had a record that was going real good. And I had played a Fender guitar, and this guy came to a show in Baltimore and said, I've come to trade guitars with you. And I said, yeah, well, what do you got? And he said, come here and I'll show you. And he went over and opened it up, and I looked at it, and boy, it was pretty and smelled good, you know. And I said, what kind of trade you got in mind? He said, I want your guitar and $200. I said, man, I ain't got $200. He said, you got 100? I said, yeah. And I said, well, you realize now that you'll have to wait the rest of the day because I'll have to take this up to the room and put strings on it that I tuned to. And so he waited around, and when the show was over, he took that other guitar, and I gave him his $100. So I've got $100 in that.
Now, you never went to playing the pedal steel guitar like so many other people.
Well, yeah, about 35 years.
Oh, did you?
But it didn't excite anybody much. So I got a garage full of pedal steel. But this one here, Alan Jackson borrowed this guitar once. It was in the Willie Nelson Museum for 8 years. And people would come to Nashville, and they'd come out to my house, and I'd have to take them to the museum to look at that. And Alan Jackson wanted to borrow it to use in a TV special he was doing a Hank segment. And I went and took it out of the museum and let him use it. And when he sent it back, I opened it up, and there was a check in there. And I told Miss Hazel, I said, I got this thing figured out. I'm going to retire and start booking that guitar.
These clips are great, but to see full episodes, go to countryroadtv.com.